In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to lock and unlock a door in Unreal Engine 5. When I press my interaction key, the door will open and close. But if I press my E key, it will lock the door only if the door is closed. Alright, so to start off the video, we are going to be creating an interface. This interface is going to be used to interact with the door. Now that our interface is created, we want to open our player blueprint and create the line trace that will be used to open and close the door. Now you want to get your player's camera because that is where we want the line trace to start. This forward vector is to shoot our line forward, and then this multiply node is how long we want our line to be. Now you want to add the two, and then that will be our end. Now you want to select the interface that we have created. This is so that we are able to interact with any actor containing this interface. In this case, it will be our door. Now that we finished our line trace, we want to add collision to our door because Unreal Engine's door doesn't have any collision by default. Alright, it's time to create the door blueprint. Now, let's add our door model. Now you want to assign the interface to this blueprint. The line trace will be calling this interface message. So this is where we will be making the interaction code for our door. The flip-flop node will toggle between A and B output. So from A, we are calling this timeline. The timeline will smooth out your transition. In this case, I'm making the door open and close. Now split the pins and then get the lerp node from the Z value. This will transition between the given values. Alright, now we are going to set up our timeline. Now you want to set the first keyframe to 0, and then the second keyframe will be set to the length of our timeline, which is 0.4. Now you want to right click while the two keyframes are selected, and then you want to select auto. B output will reverse the door's animation. Alright, so now we're going to create the line trace that will lock and unlock the door. We are just going to copy over some of the functions from the other line trace that we've created. For this line trace, we are not going to call the interface message. This flip-flop node is going to be used to toggle between the lock and unlock state of the door. This branch is so that we can only lock the door if the door is currently closed. Because if we lock the door while it is open, then that just doesn't make any sense. Alright, so now we are going to code the final parts in the door blueprint. Now you want to create this variable. And then you want to cast to your player. Now you want to get this variable and then set the variable that you just created as well. So basically we are toggling the isLocked variable inside of our player blueprint, and that is going to be changing our door state variable based on the variable state in our player blueprint. On false, we are going to create the locked door animation, which is just a simple back and forth animation. Split the pin, and then get this lerp node once again. split the pin, and then get this lerp node once again. Alright, pay attention to this next part because it's almost the same as the previous timeline, just slightly different. For the second keyframe, set the value to how far you want your door to rotate during its lock state. In this case, I set it to 0.6. Then for the third keyframe, set its value back to 0. Now select all 3 keyframes, and then right click, and then select auto. Then make sure you enable looping. Now you want to connect this track to the B input since we have set our values inside of the timeline. Now set this delay node to 0.4 seconds so that our animation plays twice before it stops. Now, last but not least, you want to set your isDoorOpen variable. That's gonna be it for today's tutorial. If you found this helpful, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And if you want the project files, feel free to check out my Patreon, link in the description. And until then, see you in the next one.